Here we are. Hello, everyone. Melissa here, creator and founder at Find Your Own Drive. And I'm coming to you live today to talk about excuses. And the number one excuse that most people hold to be the biggest one of all is when they say that they don't have time. And interesting enough, we have enough time to do a lot of things. It's just our putting the effort into it doesn't necessarily mean the value of our time. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that because on my own journey right now, what I'm experiencing is I've given myself permission to take care of me and to take care of my body, my health, my longevity, my strength, all of that, because I have time for it now. Interesting enough. And that was the part where I started evaluating. My excuse was I don't have enough time because I was too busy, I was working too much. By the time I get home at the end of the day, by the time I catch up on my TV shows, by the time I help other people out, by the time I this, that, I just don't have time for myself. And the thing is when we keep putting ourselves on the back burner, time marches on anyway. Time continues to flow and go. And that's where I want to help you to end the excuses to anything that you might be experiencing that you're using not enough time, or even the other one, not enough money. But let's start with just time. Let's put focus on time. So what I'm challenged to do myself on this journey of my own health and wellness is making time for things, making time for grocery shopping, making time for food prep, making time for exercise, making time for journaling, making time for self-care, making time for, there was something else. But anyway, so there's a handful of things that I need to make time for. So in preparation of even packing your lunch or planning a grocery store trip takes time. And what I'm finding is when I just randomly show up at the grocery store and walk in and try to shop, that to me is the worst thing I can do to myself, because I become very agitated. I become very stressed out. I'm not sure what I'm there to buy. I don't know what I want to eat. I don't know how much money I'm going to spend. And so I'm setting myself up right away with failure, right away with anxiety and stress that I don't even need. And so from that point, my excuse then is, well, I don't have time to go to the store. Easy enough, because then I don't have to worry about even getting into that situation of feeling uncomfortable, trying to decide what to buy, how much I'm going to spend, where the food's even located at the store, because if you don't go to the store often enough, you really don't know where food products are. The other thing is setting my time up for activity. So my thing was, well, I work close to the park, so I'll just go walk on my lunch hour. Well, it's been cold and rainy. Okay, well, I don't have any other time to do it. If I can't do it on my lunch break, then I'm using that excuse. But the mall's right around the corner. I could easily go to that facility and do the walking. Or when I come home in the evening, I could actually do some things right here, in my living room. I could do jumping jacks or sit-ups or, that again. Well, because I don't want to do it every day, my excuse is I don't have time. And if we continue to do that with everything, and you find yourself using that excuse, it's time to really get down and dirty with what it is you want to accomplish, and then from there develop a structure. And I resist structure like crazy because I like this, loosey-goosey and fly by the seat of my pants. I mean, I just love that feeling of being able to do that. I can do that tomorrow, I can do that next week, I can do that later today. And what I'm realizing in this journey that I'm on, these excuses, those don't sound like excuses, they're just delayed. But at the same time, it is an excuse because I don't want to work hard right now, so I'm just going to put that off. I don't have time right now. So where's my time being spent? Is it being spent watching television, being spent going through Facebook, mindlessly scrolling on the screen? Is it, what other ways do we waste our time? Maybe you're texting, maybe you're just doing things that aren't really being productive for you. And I think if you monitor that, because that's what I've been doing myself, if you monitor the time that you spend doing those things that aren't really productive, moving you forward. Now, like with my business, I hop onto Facebook and do things like this. So this is very productive time. But if I'm just looking through what everybody's posting and saying and putting on there, then that can be not as productive, because you know you can lose a quick half hour in no time by just scrolling through Facebook. And so that's where I'm starting to monitor those things. If I go on Facebook just to get caught up on what others are doing, then I'm going to set a time limit for that. I'm going to allow myself 15 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever I feel I need, maybe just even 5. And I can set a timer on my phone to do that. Again, it comes back to those structures, because if you don't have time, then see where you're spending your time. It's almost like doing a budget with your finances. When you have to create where your money's going, you're really surprised when you see $3 going out here and $5 going out there and another 10 there. Like, you didn't even realize the excess money that gets spent. You know your standard bills and things and maybe what you eat out, but you might have donated $10 to charity. You might have bought $5 worth of fundraiser items. You may have spent $2 on a Coke at the gas station when you filled up for gas. Like, those are the things that, if you're not managing it, they go out the window. And it's just like our time. If we're not managing it, it goes out the window. And guess what? Spoiler alert, time keeps marching on. And if you're not utilizing those 24 hours in a day that you have, you're not guaranteed the next 24 hours. And what you do in this 24 hours today on this date is going to make a difference of what happens tomorrow and next week and next month and next year. Like, that's the part where I want to help you to really understand these excuses, because I'm preaching to myself right now. These excuses are only keeping you right where you are, in the comfort zone that you know, in the quietness that you like, no confrontations, no conflicts. It's just easier to say, I would love to have all of this in my life, but I don't have time to prepare. And I'm finding that is the biggest excuse, the sorriest excuse that I can use right now, because my time is important to me. It has value, and it's time for me to start bringing myself into the playing field of saying, here's the 24 hours I have on my day. No more excuses. I want to see how I'm utilizing that time, and I'm going to start fitting some things in there. Just like when you make a doctor's appointment. Do you miss that? No, it goes on your calendar. You block out the time that it takes to get there, the time you figure you're going to be there, and the time to get back. If someone calls you and they have an emergency and they need you right away, you immediately have all kinds of time available. If someone in your family would be laid up or hospitalized or something like that, you have all this time to help with them. But had it been something different, you don't have enough time. If someone invited you to a dinner party or invited you to a fundraiser or invited you out for the evening to a movie, whatever it might be, you're going to say, well, I don't have time. And maybe you do a lot of things and you say, I don't have time, because you just want to go home and take a nap or go to bed early. And that's fine if you're doing it in your interest. My bedtime is at this time, so I'm not able to go there because it's too late in the evening and I want to be home at a certain time. Don't use the excuse, I don't have time. Finish it with why. Give an explanation. I'm scheduled to go to the grocery store today from 2 o'clock till 3 o'clock, so I'm not able to participate, but I could come later or whatever it might be. So it's just taking hold of that, because when you do one thing, you do all things. We've talked about that. So I feel like once we get hold of this time schedule, this time structure, then it will start aligning with other things. Then you actually have more freedom. Because if you know this is when you do certain things, when you exercise, when you go grocery shopping, when you cook your foods, when you pay your bills, when you go out with family, when you do date night, whatever those things are, once you have this all laid out in your map and you see that, then you might recognize, oh my gosh, I have 2.5 hours here that I don't even know what I do with. And that might have been scrolling on Facebook, catching up on your movies, just wasting time. But that's the important part. If it is, that's okay too, because you can block out what they call white space. That is your time and nobody can touch that. That white space may be when you decide you're going to do some pampering, you're going to go do something for yourself, something selfish, and that's okay. Maybe you do that once a week, maybe you do it once a month, but give yourself that permission in order to do that as well. I wanted to read you this really cool quote that I came across. It says, the only thing standing between you and your goal is the bullshit story you keep telling yourself as to why you can't achieve it. That was by Jordan Belfont. And what I loved about that is it really is a true statement to what a lot of us find. We get into this running around circles with our excuses, and him saying that, you know, any goal, because all of these are goals, you have a goal in mind to accomplish in your day. And if you just stop the bullshit stories that keep you stuck, you know, we get on that little circuit board of all the reasons and the excuses. I'm tired, I don't feel well, I stayed up late, I drank too much, I ate too much, the baby was crying, my mother-in-law dropped by. Like, there's, you know, those are the bullshit excuses that you have to let go of and put yourself first. Put yourself first. And from that place, the magic can be created. So one of the things that I also wanted to share was, when we're setting a goal, when we're trying to really get away from these excuses, there's two words that come to mind. And a lot of people will say this, that I don't have discipline. And self-discipline is something that we learn at an early age, but then we kind of forget how to practice it as we get older on other things. So you learn how to brush your teeth, you learn personal hygiene, you learn how to, you know, take care of yourself. But it's when we get older, everything else kind of distracts us in a way that we forget how to establish those habits again. Like flossing your teeth might have been something, you know, you used to do, but you don't do that anymore because of time. Washing your face before you went to bed, taking a shower in the morning, now you're more apt to take it at night. Like, those habits get shifted around and changed based on your lifestyle and what you deem to be important. And so self-discipline is one of the things that I looked up for definition, and it's a practice of training people to obey rules with a punishment to correct the disobedience. So that doesn't sound very warm and fuzzy when you look at it in terms of that. So I want to use that other word I just talked about, is habits, because habits are regular tendencies or practices on things that are hard to give up. And so a habit would be, if I start eating well and feeling well, if I start exercising and seeing the benefits of that, that can become a habit that's going to make me feel better. That's going to be something that I don't want to give up on. Whereas if I look at it as self-discipline, then I'm going to be beating myself up. I'm just not disciplined enough to exercise or eat well or go grocery shopping. Like, those are the things that I want to make a habit, because from those habits, you don't give up on them because you truly know the benefits. So in No Excuses of Time, it's creating habits. And I'm going to talk more about this. I know I had mentioned offering my program that's going to be starting on April the 30th. And just some things have shifted and changed with me, and my alignment hasn't felt good. I do a lot of things with my intuition, but I know there's something coming. At first, I thought it was an extended program for everybody to be a participant in, and then it feels like it's a much smaller group of people that will participate in over a shorter period of time. And I'm really aligning to what I feel is what most people are looking for. And today's message is one of the things that I'm like, yeah, this is what everyone, the energy around me and others that I'm witnessing is, how can we get away from the excuse of not having enough time, bringing our time back into the forefront so we can manage these opportunities, manage our day, our 24 hours, so that we can live fully in happiness and abundance and joy, and start moving into the things that light us up and make us feel good and give us the longevity, and start projecting out for the future of what's coming in a month to 6 months to a year to 5 years. Like, this is where it all starts. It starts with us, and it starts with our time and creating those habits. So the other thing I wanted to share with you is another statement that I came across that said, the heart has its reasons, but the mind makes the excuses. The heart has its reasons, but the mind makes its excuses. So my friends, if you find yourself trying to overcome something, trying to recreate something, trying to get back to the old you that you once knew, or a more vibrant, a more pleasant, more happy, whatever it is, the individual that's inside of you, that soul that sits inside of you, is calling out saying, things need to change. Melissa is giving us this offering, giving me a reminder. I'm talking to the ego, I'm talking to the soul, I'm talking to you. I hope that you're listening, because when the heart knows what it wants, Don't let the mind make the excuses for you. Don't let it say that you don't have time, you don't have money, you don't have whatever it is. You do. You just need accountability and support to help you lay out this roadmap, just like I'm receiving from my coaches. I know my roadmap moving forward over this next year of how I'm going to transform my life and create myself physically and internally at a level that is going to give me longevity and vitality. And from that point forward, I can live the next 50 years being in service, supporting others, helping you learn what I've learned, just giving you the roadmap, the tools. I mean, that lights me up, and that's what I'm going to do. And that's what I know I'm going to do, but I've got to start with me. The work starts with me. And I started this journey with myself over 10 years ago, and I know all the work I did back then brought me to the next level, to the next level, to the next level, to where I'm here today. And so that's what I'm going to start offering you. I would love to hear comments or give me some thumbs up or hearts, whatever it is that you feel inclined to say or do. Let me know you hear the message. Let me know you're receiving this. Let me know that you're ready. Because when I go into serving other people, I want to be sure that those of you that hide out and say you don't have time or you don't have money to take care of yourself, I want to make sure that it's an easy transition for you to come into owning your life, owning your own time, managing yourself, so that everyone around you will be there lining up. They rise up to meet you instead of pulling you down. And from there, you can make a brighter, more happier outcome and live every day to the fullest. So that's what I offer you today. I hope this message has resonated, has been in service to you. As always, I'm sending you tons of love, lots of light, and I hope to hear from you real soon. Much love.